Hi there, and thanks for tuning in. Do you have some big ideas and want to live a full life exploring them? How often do you think about your age? Well, you will likely have some new thoughts to consider, thinking about how age is a number, perhaps even slightly differently after listening and watching this episode of the Business of Life Masterclass podcast. So, hello to all of our YouTube viewers and our audio listeners. Thank you and welcome to episode 269 of the Business of Life Masterclass podcast. You all are very aware that Barb and I are lifelong learners, and we pride ourselves on growth and learning from all of our guests. So today's episode of the Business of Life Masterclass is on moving past your age and on to taking and making big moves. So let's get going as we pursue some insights and some tips from our guest. So hello again, everyone. Debbie Lundberg, performance coach and mindset coach with Presenting Powerfully.
Hi, Barb Zant here, media sales leader and founder of the lifestyle brand, The Stay at Work Mom. Debbie, who is our guest who keeps proving aging can be an asset and who is sought after for his stories and all of his business acumen?
Well, Barb, you know we've wanted to have him on for a very long time.
Yeah.
He served on the California Chamber of Commerce in Beverly Hills, Palm Springs, Long Beach, and Pasadena. So how in the world did we get him in Florida? Well, there's more. He's an honorary life member of the Pasadena Tournament of Roses Association, former member of the Dean's Circle College of Business Administration, University of South Florida, and the foundation board of the L. Moffitt Cancer Center, and numerous other boards that would take up the whole time on the podcast. He's a member of the Rotary Club of Tampa and the CEO Council. He's a graduate of Leadership Tampa, class of 2013, as he and I will say, best class ever, with a Master's of Business Administration from George Washington University and the University of Central Florida, Bachelor of Science from the United States Military Academy at West Point. He served the U.S. Army for over 20 years, so we thank him for his service, retiring with the rank of Lieutenant Colonel and later earning the rank of Colonel in the Reserves. He is a Vistage Chair, and he was the author of the book, Start Everything, Finish Nothing. So please welcome Rolfe Arnhym.
Good morning, Debbie. I'm just delighted to be here. As you know, I wrote that book which chronicles all the mistakes that I made. And since I wrote the book, I've been on an apology tour, not a book tour, because I made so many mistakes along the way. I just felt that was the right way to go.
Well, welcome, Ralph. I'm looking forward to reading it. What is one thing that we didn't hear about you in your bio that is interesting or a cool part of who you are? Just tease it right now, and we'll ask you more about the story behind it at the end of our episode.
Well, I think that I recently had my 95th birthday, and I characterized it as a pit stop on the way to 100. I don't stop. And I try to maintain a positive attitude. And that's something you do so very, very well with your show. You do an amazing job of maintaining a positive outlook in a time when uncertainty seems to be having a domino effect on people's ability to move forward, and they're almost frozen in place. I get out the door every morning at 6:15 with purpose. I run a full schedule through the entire day.
Whoa! We're getting ahead to the podcast 4. Don't let our listeners get ahead there, Rolfe. We gotta tease them with this, right?
Yes, and more on your story to follow. And you were invited on the Business of Life Masterclass podcast for your ability to get things accomplished no matter where you are. We've wanted to have you on for many years, so thank you for coming today. But please share specifically the reason you wanted to be on our show, the Business of Life Masterclass podcast.
I like to be around positive people, and I see you guys as positive, and I can't afford to walk out the door in the morning at 6:15 with a negative attitude and figure the sky is falling. I don't function that way.
I love it. Thank you, Ralph, for your perspective on the Business of Life Masterclass podcast. And before Debbie gets into our podcast forum, that is our 4 questions. What is one thing that you are super excited about in your life as we are in third quarter 2025?
I think it's the opportunity to work with people and help them to make better and faster decisions and get the noise out of their head and think positively, be decisive, and don't let stuff get in your way.
Love that. Since you are excited about being positive, you mentioned that a couple of times, and I love, love, love that. If you were to have one song as your walk up music, say for when you're about to enter a stage or receive an award like you have many times, what would that be?
Well, the Army fight song from West Point is probably predominant. It's exciting music, and I think that that drummer gets me out of bed, gets me moving, and is in the back of my head. And if some point in time I should leave this planet, I'll leave the planet to the tune of the Army fight song.
All right, the Army fight song. I know that one have been part of many an audience of a gala and a birthday celebration for our U.S. Army. So thank you for that, Rolfe. All right, we're getting into those questions, and we're certain you are prepared because we've already heard a little bit about it. So are you ready?
Ready?
Okay. Number one, what time? Well, we know 6:15. What time do you get up in the morning? And what's your morning routine to get your day started right, Rolfe?
I get up at 5:30. I'm out the door at 6:15. I'm in place wherever I have to be a little bit early. Typically, I get to my first meeting about 6:45, and then I sequester myself for about 30 minutes in quiet time, just to get ready for the day and have that little bit of an opportunity where I don't bother anybody and nobody bothers me. So I'm launching myself in the best possible way and to steal from you to present myself powerfully.
That sounds good, and you do. So that's wonderful. Yeah, sequestering. So that's something new, and you know that Barb takes notes during this. So I see she's got her mind going on what she's going to have us doing after this. So number two, what is something other than that 5:30 a.m. wake up with the 6:15 out the door that you believe, Rolfe, if other people would practice it, something that you do, that would set them apart? Sometimes Barb calls this that special sauce.
Well, number one, I'm decisive. I don't waste a lot of time uh, waiting for events to overtake me. I approach every day with I'm going to come out of here with a decision, and my mantra, if you will, is figure it out.
So if people would figure it out, they'd be a lot better off.
Absolutely.
I think you have two fans of that right here, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners and viewers are agreeing. All right. So I was really curious about this one, having known you for quite a while now, over 13 years. So, who or what, Rolfe, has been the biggest influence in your life, in your success, in your figuring it out throughout all of these accomplishments? And importantly, what have you done with that influence?
You know, it's hard to pick any one person. In today's world, it's hard to find role models. And so my first role model, candidly, was an inanimate object. When I got down to Fort Benning, Georgia, there was a statue of a lieutenant, and in one hand he had his rifle, and the other hand was out up in the air like this, and inscribed as "Follow me." And so that got me out of the moving forward from the get-go. After that, I would cherry pick from various leaders, and whether it was Eisenhower or whether it was President Reagan, in most cases it was somebody serving in positions of responsibility that got my attention. So I can't single any one out. I
Mhm.
sort of smorgasbord my way through.
Well, certainly I mean, we see all the awards behind you, around you. We know that you've had a lot of exposure that others haven't. So I can see where you got a pretty fancy smorgasbord to pick from. So that's pretty good. All right. Last question in our podcast four. You know that our series, our podcast, and ultimately the master classes that we have had and will have, they're all about being positive, and that's one of your favorite ideas and concepts and words. At the same time, Rolfe, what are you noticing that right now, if people would stop doing it, what's a negative that people are doing that's holding them back?
I think they're dwelling too much on the noise and this word called uncertainty, which I think is an excuse for an
Mhm.
inability to make a decision, a lack of decisiveness. They're waiting for something to happen someplace along the line. And I just finished a conversation a few moments ago with a business that is continuing to grow for a very, very simple reason, and that is they've been aggressive in their outreach. They're quick to make a decision and to get on with the job and to surround themselves with good people. And if you don't surround yourself with good people, you're in a lot of trouble. And today, performance is everything. And so if you're not being decisive and your people aren't performing, you're dead weight.
Yep. Well said. We don't want the dead weight. We don't want it at all. So thanks for sharing the podcast 4. I know Barb is smiling and already getting ready to tell me what we're going to do based on what you just shared. So Barb?
Thank you, Rolfe. I'm so excited. I'm positive. And some of the ideas that I wrote down, I do have 2 pages of notes. And the first thing, I love the sequester. And I also love that it's at the location. So I do have some quiet time, but it's not 30 minutes and it's not at the first location. So I'm absolutely going to work on that. And then figure it out. I love that. Debbie, similar to your sign in the background that says believe, I'm going to make a sign, figure it out. And it's going to be my mantra in the office here for sure. And I'm definitely going to read your book. Debbie, I know yours might look similar or a little different. Are you ready to share some of these ideas with our listeners and our viewers in the next week or so?
Absolutely. So yes, that 30-minute sequester will be a good challenge. So I admit that will be a challenge. Rolfe knows I like to run things right on time, and to put that in there will be a good opportunity. I've had the opportunity to read Rolfe's book, highly recommend it, and I've gotten to see Rolfe speak to the book. So I can give you a few more notes on that, Barb. That'll be fun for us to discuss. And then, figure it out is another good expression that it's simple and yet it's saying, back to Rolfe, what you said earlier, it's all about don't wait for someone else to do something. So I'm in.
All right. So as we near the close of our time, and we could sit here and talk all day, Rolfe, please elaborate on the story that you teased about your 95th birthday and being a pit stop to your way to 100. So elaborate a little more on that. That sounds pretty darn cool.
Well, I always look ahead as a case in point. I have my schedule totally in place through September of 26. And so everything that is part of my business plan, I prepare for the future. I don't worry about the clock running down. My attitude is based not only on figure it out, but don't try to ever tell me it can't be done. Of course it can. And so I live that every day. And so hence, when somebody says, what are you going to be doing in June of next year? I've got a plan. And every quarter I add another quarter on the top of it. There is no stop in me. Don't stop. Somebody's going to run over you like a truck.
I like to say it's not the going, it's the stopping that'll get you, right, Rolfe? So I think Barb and I have another one to do these quarterly add-ons. Sounds like another thing. If I may, I was fortunate to be at Rolfe's 95th birthday party, and I heard, as everyone else heard, that you already booked your 100th birthday party at the same location. So I think Barb and me hearing that, our listeners and viewers hearing that, is a reminder that when Brian Ford of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers shared with everybody that Rolfe's got a plan, he's not kidding. In 5 years, he's already booked it. That really made us all think about, are we really looking ahead and getting our plans together? So you've inspired many, many of us. So
very inspiring. I got the chills with that story. That is so cool. Rolfe, we'd love to hear another quick or closing comment or statement or your advice or hope for our listeners, please.
Well, I think it comes down to a couple of simple facts. One is self-discipline. Number 2, don't allow yourself to be led by the noise. And there's another premise behind it: lead, follow, or get out of the way. And along the way, I've told a lot of people, get out of the way. I'm a risk taker. More often than not, I've been asked to do things that nobody else is willing to do. And that has been my premise. When I moved the Army-Navy game, I ran into the Rose Bowl. I ran into obstacle after obstacle. People tend to come to me if there's something that can't be done, and I'll execute on it. And that's been every day I wake up. And I tell myself, whatever's got to get done is going to get done.
And it is. I'm just glad that you didn't tell me to get out of the way, and we've been able to have this friendship, and that all three of
No
us
way.
and all three of us have gotten to go through Leadership Tampa. So it's wonderful. So thank you so much, Rolfe. Now we're getting ready to say goodbye. And now you mentioned earlier about the fight song. What would you have as a walk-off? Say you've received the award, you're leaving the stage. Would you have the same music, or would you have a different walk-off music?
I think I'd have the same walk-off music. There are so many songs out there and so much music out there. I love military music. Stars and Stripes Forever comes to mind. There's a French march which is called the National, which is probably one of my favorites. Sombre et Muse are the French words for that. Extremely stirring, highly energetic. Sombre et Muse.
Sombre Muse. We'll have to look up that. I'll have to look up that one. I don't know that one.
You got to listen to this one. It's great.
Okay.
All right. I just added that down. Thank you so much, Rolfe.
Thank you.
All right. Please know, listeners, you can stay connected with Rolfe Arnhym on all social media under his name. And I really, really encourage everyone to Google the story that Rolfe mentioned of moving the Army-Navy game. And he doesn't know I'm going to say this. Google about his ring and how he was reunited with this ring. It's a really fascinating story. He's showing it right now in the video. Thank you, Rolfe. Because when you see the things, Rolfe is tagged by a lot of people in social media. So you'll see things that they're doing to be around Rolfe. I encourage you, this is one strongly you'll appreciate Googling or even asking AI, what do they know about Rolfe Arnhym? Because the list will be long and entertaining, and a lot of stuff would have been gotten figured out, that's for sure. So similarly, you can follow Barb and me on Instagram and Facebook at the Business of Life Masterclass. Barb is the Stay at Work Mom, and I am Debbie Lundberg. Most places, Debbie Lundberg Coach on TikTok, where you can follow those Coaches Corner tips on all of the platforms.
If you like the insights you heard, please rate us 5 stars. We are committed to providing you with 5-star guests and inspiration, just like Rolfe. Please do provide us feedback. We absolutely implement it. And stay tuned for our follow-through show next week with what we learned and how we implemented Rolfe's ideas. So thanks for joining us for this episode of the Business of Life Masterclass, the podcast for successful people embracing every chance to accomplish and experience all you can in business and in life.
Listen, choose, do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you have ever thought, gosh, I'd like a collaborator, I wonder what else I could do, it's likely that the answer is a coach. Hi, I'm Debbie Lundberg, Performance and Mindset Coach with Presenting Powerfully. And if you would like confidential coaching to drive you to the next idea, the next role, or even to figure out your own brand, please reach out to us at Presenting Powerfully, 813-494-4438. Thank you.